Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Main from the Handgun World Show. The reason I carry a gun is because I can't carry a cop. Thanks for catching me again here on YouTube. If you have not been listening to my podcast, I want to start this off by inviting you to do that. I do a podcast called the Handgun World Show. It's on iTunes. Just search Handgun World Show. Also, you can just go to www.handgunworld.com and download them from there. Excuse me. Okay, I'm going to talk about two things today, the Kahr PM9 and my modified Uncle Mike's holster. I've been getting so many emails lately from those of you who listen to my show asking me to talk about my modified holster for the Kahr PM9. And I also realized I had never really done a review on video of the Kahr PM9. So I want to go ahead and do those, make both of those pretty quick. So let me go ahead and introduce to you my Kahr PM9, one of my favorite carry pistols. As you can see, it is unloaded. Quick chamber check. Double check it again. Show you that this is definitely a unloaded weapon, safe and clear. Now that we got that out of the way, a few things I want to talk about on this Kahr PM9. It reeks of quality. I mean, it really does. I really like the quality of this pistol. You know, this is not going to be a full review of this gun, but as you know, I like Glocks. It's no secret that I like to shoot Glocks and carry Glocks. My Glock 19 is my absolute favorite pistol, and I've been through a lot of pistols, folks. I've owned a lot of guns. I've made a lot of mistakes. I'm not saying that if you don't own a Glock that you have a bad pistol. Please don't take it that way. But they work for me, and I like them. But this is not about Glocks. This is about this fabulous little Kahr PM9. Few things I like about this gun. It's very pocketable, and I'm going to show you how pocketable it is when I get to my pocket holster. It's a 9mm that fits easily in your pocket. How cool is that, huh? I mean, you know, in this world of 380s and everything, and I like 380s too. There's pros and cons to everything. This little guy right here fits in your pocket very, very well. People can't tell it's a gun, folks. Why not carry a 9mm if you're going to put something in your pocket? Now, first of all, I like the magazines that come with it. There's a flush-fitting magazine, which contains 6 rounds in the magazine, plus 1 in the chamber. That's 7 rounds of 9mm on board, folks. That's not too bad in your pocket. And then you can use the extended magazine. Okay, the extended magazine gives you 1 extra round for 7 in the magazine, plus 1 in the chamber. An 8-round gun, folks. 8 rounds of 9mm. I keep mine loaded with Corbon DPX, and I tell you what, I sure like Corbon DPX. I feel very confident with it. A pocket gun with 8 rounds of Corbon DPX, or Ranger SXT, or Federal Hydroshocks, or Spear Gold Dots, what have you. For a pocket gun, it doesn't get much better. That's just kind of my opinion. Now, the other thing I love about this gun is the smooth trigger pull. Let me show you what I'm talking about. When you press this trigger, this is a very smooth trigger. Okay? It's like a very smooth revolver trigger. So for those of you that own a revolver and you want to get a semi-automatic and you want an easy to carry gun, I highly recommend the Kahr PM9 simply because the long double action smooth pull is sweet. The only negative I will say about this gun is that watch the trigger reset on this. Okay? It takes a long time for this trigger to reset. Did you see how far that traveled? Maybe it's better if I show you from the other angle. This trigger has to travel pretty far when it resets. Okay, that's a long reset. I don't know if you heard that or not. A lot longer than a Glock, and certainly a mile longer than a 1911. But you know what? You can get used to shooting it, and it's so smooth that it will, after time, it will smoothen up. Now, this gun right here, this gun has a little over 1,400 rounds through it. You probably can't tell. There's not much wear. A little bit of wear on top of the barrel, just a little bit of wear right here, the front of the barrel. It's kind of hard to see, but the quality of this gun is so good that after 1,400 rounds, it's pretty much feeling like the day that I bought it and the day that I took it out of the box when it was brand new. The sights are pretty good sights here. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this without pointing the muzzle at me here so you can see the sights. Okay, we'll kind of go like that. There we go. Anyway, they're good usable sights. It's basically a dot the eye concept. Okay, very, very good usable sights. That's what I like. There's not much to dislike about this gun, folks. This has been very reliable. I've only had about 4 failures or so, maybe 4 or 5 failures. And that was pretty much during the break-in period. And it's every bit that Kahr says it is as far as a 250 round break-in period. But you know what? People complain about a 250 round break-in period. Why? Why do you complain about a 250 round break-in period? You need the practice, don't you? Like I say, give every gun you have, every pistol you have, give it a 1,000 round trigger job. I'll promise you two things if you give your gun a 1,000 round trigger job. I promise that you'll be a better shooter, and I promise that the gun will smooth up a little bit, okay? That's just a fact. You know, you need the practice. So don't complain about the 250 round break-in period. Now, let me introduce my pocket holster, which is one of the main reasons I'm making this video. This pocket holster is an Uncle Mike's cheap holster, and I love it, and I'll tell you why. I made some modifications to it. This is like a $12 or $13 holster out of the box. You see this piece right here? Okay, that's a piece of canvas that I had added to the bottom of the holster. I had a shoemaker do this, but if you're handy enough, you can do it yourself. He just stitched this very stiff canvas to the bottom of it. What that does is it creates more stability in the pocket. So when the gun is resting inside this holster, inside my pocket, it keeps it from rocking around. It adds some stability. Also, you notice this stitching right here? Okay, the holster doesn't come out of the box that way. The problem was without this stitching right here, right there, without that stitching right there, the gun was falling too far into the holster. It was going so far down that I couldn't get a good grip on it. So that stitching follows the outline of the gun and it makes it ride up high enough so I can get a decent grip on this pistol when I'm pulling it out of my pocket. It's very important that you practice your pocket draw hundreds and thousands of times. You know, I mean, practice it a lot, folks. And I've practiced thousands of times, and this thing lets me get a good combat grip, and also it stays in the pocket. When I pull this gun out, I have never, in all the draws that I've done, and by the way, folks, I've practiced this draw many, like I said, probably, I don't know, pretty darn close to 1,000 times I've practiced this draw. I've never had this come out with the gun. And believe it or not, this Uncle Mike's has held up. It's, you know, I'm thinking that one of these days I may actually have to replace this, but it's held up very well. And you may want to think about, if you do this yourself, you may want to think about putting leather on the bottom of this holster. Make this leather instead of canvas. I think if I get another one of these and do this again, there's going to be leather on there. It'll be a little bit more durable and a little bit more stable. Hard to beat. 12 bucks for the holster, couple dollars worth of materials, just a little bit of your time if you do it yourself. Maybe support your local seamstress or your local shoemaker and have them sew it on there for you, and then sew this up to follow the outline of the gun. That's it. I mean, it pretty much stays in the pocket, and it works, folks. I mean, you don't have to have something fancy for a pocket holster. Now, let me go ahead and put a plug in for the DeSantis Nemesis. I did a video on this channel, if you go through my list of videos, and I showed you my Kahr P380, which is a fantastic little pocket carry 380. And I use a DeSantis Nemesis for that. They make a DeSantis Nemesis for this Kahr pistol, so you can't go wrong with that either. Very good. I think those are probably about 30 bucks or something like that, and they're well worth it. And you don't have to modify the DeSantis holsters, but I just wanted to show you what you can do. And you know, a lot of you have been emailing me. A lot of you who listen to my podcast, you've been emailing me saying, hey, Bob, you know, could you talk about that modified Uncle Mike's holster that you've talked about? So finally, I decided to do that. If you have any questions, let me know. That's what the comments are for, and so forth. But just a quick recap. The quality of this Kahr PM9, and by the way, look at the size of this, okay? This thing, my hand pretty much covers up the gun, okay? If I just hold it in my hand like that, you can't see much of the gun right now, can you? It's not very big. When this thing is in my pocket, it looks just like a huge wallet. You can't see all this right here. You can't see this when it's in my pocket. All you see is this big object, and it looks like a wallet or an iPhone or whatever. Why not carry a 9mm in your pocket if you're going to pocket carry? I'm not going to sell my P380. It's great. But my P380 is basically only for those times, like if I'm wearing gym shorts or if I'm wearing a swimsuit before I jump in the pool. I've got my P380 in there because I really don't, I mean, when you're wearing something like gym shorts or swim trunks or something like that, you got to have a really lightweight pistol. Otherwise, this is in my pocket. It even fits in my jeans pocket fairly well. I like to wear cargo pants in the summer and even dress pants. I was wearing it earlier today on some business calls in dress pants. I think it's about 15 ounces unloaded, and put 7 rounds of 9mm in there, and it's barely over 16 ounces. You can carry that in your pocket. All right. Now, if you're going to belt carry this, High Noon is going to be sending me a public secret holster. High Noon Holsters, they contacted me. They're going to send me a public secret holster, which is an excellent holster. My friend James Kimmerly has one of those for his little Beretta PX4 subcompact. He loves it. When I get that holster, I'm going to carry this PM9 in it for a couple of weeks. I'll review the holster right here on YouTube, and I'll also talk about it on my podcast. He's going to send me one for the PM9 and one for the Glock 19. So go to highnoonholsters.com and check that out. They also have some pretty good pocket holsters as well. highnoonholsters.com. But check back in this YouTube channel from time to time, because after I carry it for a couple weeks, I'm definitely going to be doing a review on that. And I'm really looking forward to that, folks. All right, that's it. I wanted to keep this video fairly short. Hopefully you got something out of this. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm Bob Main, and the reason I carry a gun is because I can't carry a cop. Thanks for watching.